in. I can see, so forgive my pronunciation. I can see Natasha Mopolami. Welcome, welcome. Oh, you said it has a distorted sound. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. An accountant from Zimbabwe. Yansha Kachiza. Welcome, Yansha. I can say Abdukabir Yusuf Omiza. I think that this is a Nigerian. Welcome, representing Nigeria. Welcome. I can see John Paul from Nigeria as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I can see Abiba Sani, a solar plants manager, interesting, from Niger. Is this Niger State or Niger? Please, let's be specific. Niger State or Niger? We have Niger State in Nigeria. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you. Oh, yes, I can hear you, Abiba.
Hello?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so just put it in the chat box. Just maintain the chat box for conversations for now. Okay, I can see Mike Paul Njeka, a business analyst, a business development analyst from Kenya. Fantastic. Working with African Guarantee Fund, Nairobi, Kenya. Welcome, Michael. I can see Prince. I can see, oh, Mr. Ayo, I can see you as well. Inotu Katoti, Zambia. Interesting. Good to have you. I can see Natasha, a green energy and sustainability manager. Okay. So we have good amounts of, let's just keep it coming. Let's keep it coming and maintain our time. We have just a few minutes. We'll take the CEO's introduction very quickly and we'll get back to you. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. Ayo Adedini.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You're very audible.
Thank you, Sheyi Alabi, for the introduction and for being kind enough to moderate today's session. So before we go fully into today's session, I'd like you to just share a bit about why we are all here. First, I want to introduce you to GreenPath Africa. For most of us here, this is the first time we're hearing of GreenPath Africa. So GreenPath is a professional community of sustainability professionals, renewable energy professionals, investors, and students across the continent. We launched in January this year, and then so far, between January and now, we have members from 25 African countries, 23 African countries, and one from the UK, and then one from Austria as of yesterday. So the reason we exist is simple. We strongly believe that Africa's green energy transition is the biggest economic opportunity for the continent today. But the connections, the career pathways, the infrastructure to move people into the sector don't exist currently at the scale they need to. This is why GreenPath is building that infrastructure, particularly the talent infrastructure. So today's masterclass is part of that, but the bigger moment is coming. On September 29th, we are hosting the GreenPath Africa Climate Careers Festival, which is going to be the first of its kind in the West African region. We're bringing together 500 pre-qualified professionals, students, and particularly employers in a single room with confirmed slots. So the day is designed to put the right people in front of the right opportunities. So if you're not already part of the GreenPath Africa community, if you check the comment section, a link to join the community will be shared there. And if you want to be considered for a place at the festival on September 29th, once we are done with the session, we'll share the link to join. Thank you once again, Shay. So let's get right into the session.
Okay, a wonderful welcome address from Mr. Ayo Adedini. Thank you once again for the opportunity. Thank you for bringing and putting this together. It's a much needed webinar. It's a much needed masterclass. We can see a lot of young professionals joining from across the globe. This just shows the impact that such a masterclass is going to make in the lives of young Africans. Okay, like he mentioned, I have put the link in the chat box. Please, if you would like to join the community and be a part of GreenPath Africa and join these movements, click the link to join the WhatsApp group. And to know more about GreenPath Africa, I have also attached in the chat section a link to the website of GreenPath Africa. So you can find all of the information, all of the inquiry that you might have about this organization. Okay, so we will continue with the introductions. We have 17 plus people on the call now. Kindly drop your name, your country that you're representing. Okay, so I'm just going to take very briefly a few more names before we jump right into the first panel session. Like I told you, we have a lot of knowledge. It's going to be a knowledge-packed session, so prepare your mind and get ready. But while we do that, let's quickly take more introductions in the chat section. I can see Brenda. She's a project coordinator in Kenya, working in the Kenya Renewable Energy Association. Okay, I can see Tony Olahan. Oh, it's solar energy engineer from Nigeria. Okay, interesting. I can see Rumbiz. Oh, forgive my pronunciation. Rumbizai Lawrence Simbadan, a renewable energy engineer. Okay, so we have a lot of solar energy engineers on the call, which is very good representation of our target audience. Okay, we also have Adenle Helen, an environmentalist from Nigeria. Welcome, Helen. I can see Mohammed Nuruddin Anna J, founder Raising Net Zero Nigerians. Fantastic, great work, great impact there. Okay, I can see more introductions coming in. Please, let's keep it going. Let us keep it going. Let us keep it going. Let us keep it coming in. All right, while we do that, I mentioned that I shared the link. Have you confirmed? Can you kindly confirm you've joined the community? Just drop an emoji that yes, I want to be a part of the community. I have joined in. Before we go into the first presentation for the day. So the first presentation for the day is focused on the entry pathways into renewable energy across disciplines and backgrounds. Like we have seen from the introductions, we have cross-sectional disciplines and cross-sectional backgrounds, individuals represented here today from different parts of Africa, and we are glad to have you. We have a session curated particularly for you. So I'm just going to be taking a brief introduction of the first speaker. The first speaker today is our wonderful CEO, the founder of GreenPath Africa. He is a Pan-African, he created, GreenPath Africa, which is a Pan-African community. As you can see, the intersections of nations represented here today. He's created this community as a platform to build from the ground up. He's active across 25 countries, and of course this community is growing. It's growing and getting bigger by the day, so you want to be a part of what is going on here. It's growing and it's connecting renewable energy professionals, ESG professionals, sustainability professionals, especially in students, people who are fresh out of the university and looking to land RE jobs, who are entrepreneurs and are doing fantastic in their sector. So investors, bringing together students, entrepreneurs, and investors in one space. Now, beyond GreenPath, he brings real-world experience. He's working with global clean energy organizations, including NSS Foundation, one of the world's foremost open source access initiatives. He also works at the intersection of strategy, storytelling, and sector communications. Like I'm not sure I mentioned this earlier, he's a communications expert, and he breaks down, technical gibberish and makes it plain for the layman to understand and make an advance impact. All right, he's also a trained journalist. He's a clean energy advocate. He's a builder. And yes, Ayobami is a proof that the future of Africa and energy is already here. The future of renewable energy in Africa is here. It is working and we are already winning. With a round of applause, let us welcome Mr. Abayomi Adedini, founder, CEO of GreenPath Africa, for our first presentation today. All right, over to you, Mr. Ayo Adedini.
Okay. Thank you once again, Sheyi, and I'm happy to be in your face again, everyone. Today, I'm going to be talking about the entry pathways. So just forgive me. Within 10 minutes, we should be done with my session, because I understand that sometimes the slides could be boring. So just pardon me. We'll be done very shortly. So I just want to share my screen now. Just a moment. Perfect. Can you see my screen? If you can see my screen, can you just maybe an emoji or something?
Yes, we can see your screen. It's here.
Perfect.
Can we have it in the presentation mode?
Okay, sure. Pardon me. So unfortunately, I'm not able to do that. My internet is a bit unstable. So if it's fine, I can just go ahead. Is this okay?
Sure, we can go ahead. We can see clearly the screen.
Thank you. Okay. So what I'm going to be talking about is what some of us on this call are quite familiar with. But from the data we got from the participants, we saw that about 55% of those who registered for this session are those who are thinking of transitioning into the sector, and also the fresh graduates. So it is perfect that we have this topic, so you understand what we're talking about and then where we want you to be. So once again, the topic is entry pathways into renewable energy. And I'm going to be talking about different backgrounds and different disciplines. And like Sheyi mentioned, I've been in the industry for quite a while now, since, if I'm correct, since 2016. And I've transitioned from being a journalist to being a communications manager, working with the Access Foundation based in Netherlands. But today, I just want to share, aside from what I'm going to be talking to you about, I'm also going to be sharing a bit about my personal anecdotes also. Yeah. So what exactly is renewable energy? I mean, like I mentioned earlier, many of us, we already know what it is, but just to give us a refresher, renewable energy is actually energy that's generated from natural resources that naturally replenishes themselves. I mean, in summary, it means they can't be depleted. Case in point is what we are going to be talking about on the next slide. The sun, which is solar energy. Before every one of us were born, the sun has always been there. And once we are all, by the time we leave the earth, the sun will always be there too. So it's a renewable energy, it replenishes itself. Another example is the wind energy. And we also have hydropower, which is water. And then we have biomass energy, which is energy gotten from waste, from trees and similar sources. So the main focus of today's masterclass is why renewable energy in Africa and why now? So at GreenPath, we have what is called the story behind the figures, where weekly we share insights about some of the figures pertaining to Africa, particularly the energy transition narrative. And we discovered that despite having 60% of the world's best renewable energy resources. Africa has only 2% of renewable energy jobs. I'm going to take that again for us to understand the magnitude of what we're saying. I mean, you have 60% of the resources, right? But the opportunities that are there, you are only able to take 2%, which means 98% of it is taken by outsiders, right? So this shows Africa has the resources, right? Yet a big gap, a very big gap, actually. So in numbers, what is the global job gap? In 2024, according to an IRENA report, IRENA is the International Renewable Energy Agency, which I'm going to be talking about later on the slides. It's revealed that as of 2024, there were 16.6 million renewable energy jobs, 16.6 million. And out of that 16.6 million, China as a country has 7.3 million of those jobs. That is almost half of the jobs. And the sad statistics here is that the whole of Africa, the whole of 1 billion people, we have just about 344,000 renewable energy jobs as of 2024. 344,000, right? So that means China makes it the largest single contributor, right? China, that has less than Africa's renewable energy resources, has almost half of the opportunities in the sector. So in figures, China has 21 times more renewable energy jobs than the entire African continent. China as a country has 21 times more opportunities than Africa, right? Which is actually a pain point of why GreenPath Africa exists. Now, that is the opportunity. But then, what is that? I mean, you've talked to me about the opportunity. What is next? So, the single most important thing to understand before we go further is that your degree does not limit you. I mean, casually, when you have conversations on the streets of Africa and we talk about renewable energy, even aside from the street, even educated professionals, like some are on the call here today, who are fortunate enough to be on the call today. When you talk about renewable energy, the first thing that comes to their mind is solar energy, right? And then aside solar energy, the next thing that comes to their mind is installation. Whereas there are vast opportunities in the sector than what is what people talk about. So it is an interdisciplinary field. So which means that whether you studied engineering, environmental science, business, or anything else, there's a place for you in the renewable energy space. And I'm going to be using myself as an example. I studied political science and international relations, right? A non-technical background, totally non-technical. However, in the last 10 years, I've worked with core technical teams in renewable energy companies. I mean, things I never knew before, my background notwithstanding. And I'm sure that there are people here on this call that have similar backgrounds with mine, and even, I mean, that might think that, oh, I mean, renewable energy, is this something that I can consider? I mean, it's good that you are here today. So, continuation of the last slide. So what's the place in this sector? Engineers have a place in this sector. I mean, they are the natural fit for this sector. We have solar for solar installers, wind turbine, green integration. And then, like I mentioned, renewable energy is much more than solar energy. We have wind energy. We have biomass. I know a lady in Nigeria who is doing fantastically well with clean cook stoves. Right, she's using biomass to generate energy for people to cook safely in their homes and their offices. Right, so this is an example. You could have an environmental science background, a physics background, chemistry background. Of course, those are natural fits for renewable energy jobs, R&D roles, sustainability reporting, and also another sector, or rather another degree you could have is a business and administrative degree in finance, in marketing, like me, in management, in law. I have industry colleagues who are lawyers, and then they work in the renewable energy space. So literally what I'm saying is this: there's virtually no sector no background you have right now, that you don't have a fit in the sector, right? So there's a place for you, there's something you can do, there's a contribution, that there's something the industry needs from people like you. I mean, like, so where do I fit? Just like I mentioned earlier, and this particular slide is for those who are, I mean, encountering this sector for the first time. So if you're if you have an engineering background, you could be a solar energy engineer. You design, install, and maintain solar PV systems. One good thing about this is that Africa has year-round sunlight. There's virtually no day that there's no sunlight in Africa, which brings us to the first point I mentioned, that Africa has 60% of the best renewable energy resources. I mean, 60%. So, which makes us, which makes the solar energy engineering background the single highest demand entry role for the sector. Another aspect we have is the energy efficiency engineer. So, what these people do is they optimize energy use in buildings, in factories. They are very important in a country like Nigeria. And I believe when I mention Nigeria, Africa's energy story is similar. The same thing happening in Nigeria happens in Kenya, in South Africa, in Zambia, in Zimbabwe. I mean, we are like twins, which is sad actually. But then in a continent where power outages drive massive inefficiency losses, and an energy efficiency engineer is a perfect role for you who has that background. So I'm going to jump into the business role. Like I mentioned, I don't want to waste time. 10 minutes, I'm done. So you could be in marketing, you could be in customer relations, you could be in finance, you could be in sales, you could be in communications, you could be a writer. You could just be a writer in this space, because we have roles for content writers in the renewable energy space. So these roles, the business roles, are actually the commercial engine of every renewable energy company. So if you find yourself with this background, with business background, marketing background, sales background, I mean, you should take pride in the fact that you are the ones who generate the revenue, who make profit happen for the renewable energy sector. So the major question is this: how do I break in? How do I get into this sector? I mean, the opportunities are there, yes, but then how do I fit in? So there are three things that close the skills gap. And I want to apologize for those who are not Nigeria, based on the examples I gave here. But certifications, I mean, it's a general thing. Nearly half of technical roles in Nigeria are unfilled due to lack of industry-aligned trainings. So there are certifications out there that can help you to upgrade your skills. I understand that the fact that most universities in Africa, they trail industry. That is, some of the things that the university are doing now, the industry no longer does them, right? So once you leave the university, once you leave the school, you need to upgrade your skills. You need to update your skills for you to have relevant skills for the industry. So another thing you could do, you also need practical experience, right? You need practical experience. You could volunteer on community solar projects. You could volunteer on university initiatives. And one thing I also want to mention is the fact that it doesn't really necessarily have to be solar energy initiatives. It could be environmental sustainability. It could be awareness. It could be International Day of Clean Energy. It could be beach cleanups. It could be street cleanups. I mean, something that is tied to the environment. So recruiters, companies, they like to see things like that on your CV. The fact that you volunteer for an environmental sustainability initiative. So it's very important that you do that. So another thing also I want to mention is that companies sometimes don't put out applications. And the reason is that once they put out applications, there are always, I mean, several applications. Imagine a company that needs just 2 people and then they have 500 applications. So it's a stress for them. So sometimes what you can do is, if you find an organization that you fancy, that you think your skills can work in that company, what you can do is just to reach out to them. Reach out to that company, send an email to them, and tell them, hey, I have this particular skill and I'm looking for this particular role. Are you open to hiring and things like that? I can assure you, you can get roles by that. I've gotten roles by that by cold emailing companies, and because it's so many people don't do them, you have higher chances of getting hired through this method. Earlier, I mentioned IRENA. So IRENA is a chief resource for good knowledge in the industry. It's the International Renewable Energy Agency. So read reports from them. We also have the Renewable Energy Association of Nigeria. I'm glad we have a representative from the Kenya Renewable Energy Association. They also put out reports about the industry. I mean, nobody knows the industry than those who play in it already. So if you're an engineer, if you are in sales, if you're in marketing, so just dedicate a few hours in a month to read about this report. So a critical aspect of this is, I mean, we've talked about how to break in, but other than that, how do you get seen? In Africa, I mean, due to so many reasons, we find it difficult to put ourselves out there. Maybe due to childhood trauma, due to the fact that you don't want to seem arrogant, you don't want to brag and things like that. But I'm sorry to inform you, in 2026, in the world we are today now, you need to toot your horn. You need to put yourself out there. Your work will not speak for you. You need to speak for yourself, right? So one of the ways to do that is getting on LinkedIn. In my interactions with young professionals, I ask them, are you on LinkedIn? And they tell me yes. But then I ask them, are you active? They said, no, I just read. No, you being active on LinkedIn means that you post on LinkedIn, you share knowledge on LinkedIn. If you go through my LinkedIn profile since 2018 till now, every job I've gotten in the industry has been through LinkedIn. Every single job for the past 8 years has been through LinkedIn. And I got that because I put myself out there. Right. So, of course, when you start putting yourself out there, you might feel somehow, oh, I don't want to do this. No, but you don't have a choice. You just have to put yourself out there because those who are not as competent as you are putting themselves out there and are getting the jobs. So you who are competent, why don't you just put yourself out there too and get the opportunity that you deserve? So aside putting yourself out there, you also need to demonstrate practical knowledge, right? Practical knowledge, even though you don't have formal experience. Like I mentioned earlier, you don't necessarily have to have a formal experience. Let's say, for instance, the International Day of Clean Energy, and then you had the opportunity to volunteer with an initiative. Post the picture online, talk about it. You never can tell. Someone can just look at you and then reach out to you, you know. And then another thing is that you can also build a portfolio website talking about everything you've done. I mean, this is an AI generation, so it's very easy for you to build a website now without you paying anybody extra, right? So with AI, you can build a website, you can build a portfolio that anybody can just search for and then see what you've done without you stressing yourself. I'm sorry, I'm taking too much time. I'm done shortly. So another thing is how to stand out, networking. You need to learn how to network. Like I mentioned, we have the Kenya Renewable Energy Association, we have the Renewable Energy Association of Nigeria. I'm aware of the Tanzania Renewable Energy Association. I know their vice president. I know they're also doing well. I believe Rwanda also has the same thing. Ghana also has the same thing. So these are each country's premier industry body. So it's always good for you to reach out to them to learn more, to once they have events, try to attend. And then also the Climate Careers Festival that I mentioned that's happening in September is also an opportunity for you to meet with fellow professionals like you, students like you, employers who are also going to be there. And also, we have the elevator pitch. Within 30 to 60 seconds, I mean, we learn that 30 seconds now, you should be able to tell us what you are and what are the benefits you bring to whoever you're speaking to, right? So it's also very good for you to practice that. And then also, one thing I want us to avoid is when you reach out to people, try as much as possible to offer value first. I mean, for everyone you see out there, they've gone through the ropes, right? So virtually everybody who is reaching out to them wants to get something from them. So one of the ways to set yourself apart is to reach out to them and offer to help. Okay, it's very, very easy. Say, for instance, you have someone probably who wants to attend an event at a particular place, maybe in a city you reside in, right? You can just, and then the person shares it on LinkedIn. You can reach out to them and tell them, hey, I'm interested in this particular conference you are going to. Can I take photos of you there and then share with you? Can I be your assistant at that event? I mean, it works, actually. It works because most people don't do it. So those who do it stand out, right? So, and then several things you can do to make sure that you offer value first to those people. Another thing you can do is, if you have someone in the industry that you're monitoring, you're seeing, and then anytime you see maybe a newspaper mention of them, or maybe you see them on TV, take the link of that interview, of that report, send it to them. Let them know that, oh, you are following them and things like that. So I'm saying these things because most people don't do them. So these are the things that make you stand out from the rest. Okay. Now, what are the challenges and how do you overcome them? We've talked about the gap, how to get the experience. We've also talked about the location. But one thing I also want to mention to you is that you don't have to be physically at a place to work with them. You can work remotely. I have people who have been working remotely for the past 10 years. I have people who have been working remotely for the past different years for renewable energy companies. So there are global rules that don't demand that you have to be there physically. So you can work remotely also at those places. I'm going to use myself as an example. I've been working remotely since 2018. I don't leave the house. I work remotely with organizations. I have opportunity to work with companies and brands in the United States, in Europe, some places in Africa. I mean, without stepping out, without leaving Lagos, Nigeria, that I have. So, and I believe it's something you can also do. Then one other thing that is common and sad in Africa is we have the job scams. So one thing you should notice that never pay anybody to be considered. Verify companies that you see their opportunities out there. And that's one of the things we also try to do at the GreenPath community. We share opportunities, yes, but before we share this opportunity, we also try to do our independent research. Like, is this company genuine? Is the opportunity genuine? We want to make sure that our community members don't fall into such scams. So anytime you see such scams, such things like pay to be considered, things like that. So know that it is a red flag, right? Another thing is that a genuine company will not use a personal email address, right? A genuine company that knows what they are doing will not use a personal email address to get your CV. So things like that are red flags. So what do you do today? One of the things you should do, number one, update your LinkedIn profile, research one certification or training program that you can do. And another thing which is very important that I think you should do right now immediately after this session is that identify one company that is hiring in your area of interest and send an application to them without them saying, oh, they need some. Just maybe search for their HR on LinkedIn, search for it on website, and then just send it to them, and then you never can tell. Opportunity can just come out of it. You know why? Because most people don't do it. Okay, so all these things I've said things that I wrote a book in January 2026 this year. So far, about almost over 80 people have gotten this book. So, and many of the community members, they've read this book and can attest to how it has changed their thinking on how to get this RE job. So, during the session, during the conversation, the link to get this book is going to be shared on the comment section. And with that, I want to say thank you, and I wish you success in your future endeavors. And once again, I apologize for taking your time. Thank you.
Wow, can we flood the comment section with our appreciation? So send your emoji saying thank you, I mean, it has been an insightful presentation. Thank you so much, Ayobami. You have clearly outlined these pathways across various disciplines. You mentioned critical sectors. You mentioned backgrounds that are not defined. Backgrounds, regardless of your background, he clearly stated that regardless of your career background, I mean your professional background, regardless of your course of study in the university, you can still break into the RE space. I think that is very profound. He also mentioned that Africa has potential. I mean, I recall when I was going through the website, one of the things that stood out for me was the mission statement when he said Africa's energy future should be built by Africans. Africa has potential. And if we're going to build the RE space, it's you and I that should prepare ourselves to be able to position ourselves rightly for these opportunities. And I think that's the primary take home for me from his session. How can I prepare myself very well and position myself rightly to get those global opportunities or even national opportunities? I hope that this session has sparked some thoughts and questions that you might have. We look forward to exploring those questions during the panel session. It will be a good time to maybe pen down, take a note of your question that you might have as to maybe one practical ways to break in or any questions that might be on your mind. Just pen it down somewhere. We will take those questions during the panel session. Another thing that stood out for me, right, was the skill upgrade. He mentioned upgrading your skill, regardless of your background. Yes, we say there's potential. Yes, we say Africa, is a fertile ground. There are opportunities here. Just 2% of Africans are currently gaining, the benefits of the RE space. So how can we really break in? And we know we have the potential. We have 60%. We provide 60%, 50%, he mentioned, of the RE sector. So why are we not benefiting? Why are we not the first beneficiaries, right, of our impact? So I think the area of the skill gap is one area I know that Africans need to really pay attention to, and you and I need to continue to look for ways to upgrade our skill. What are the skills in demand? What competency, do I need to improve upon? How can I optimize my LinkedIn? And another thing he mentioned was the area of volunteering. Putting yourself out there, not waiting until the job comes to your doorstep. It says opportunities comes for those who are prepared. You have to prepare yourself. You have to make yourself ready, and don't stay quiet. Make noise about your impact, right? Showcase your impact across social media. We know the world is a global village now. Most investors who invest in RE SMEs, who invests in carbon offsetting projects within Africa, most of the time find out or have a first contact from them through social media. So why are we not taking advantage of social media? This is a call for us. If you have not optimized your social media, please look for a way to optimize your LinkedIn, particularly. Put out your volunteer activities, how you're making impact within your local community. These are ways to plug yourself into the RE space in Africa. So that's critical. It's, it looks simple, but it's very important to scaling through. Thank you so much once again, Ayobami, for that very, very impactful and insightful presentation. In the meantime, we would love to keep hearing from you. Please continue sharing your introductions in the comment section. I also remember, I forgot to mention, this is also a networking session. We have our Zimbabwean brothers here. We have our Zambian brothers and sisters on the call. We have, I'm going to mention the list of all those countries. We have Nigeria, of course. We have South Africa. We have Austria. We have good amount of nations represented on the call today. So please network, right? Please drop in your LinkedIn page. It's an opportunity to also make people know about what you're doing. You're probably already doing it, but you're not networking. You're not pushing yourself you're not advancing what you're doing. You're not making noise about it. So please, let's drop our LinkedIn profiles also in the comment section. Because of our time, we'll go straight to the second presentation. I mean, without speaking much, Tega Ishaya is our second presenter. She's going to be talking to us today about positioning for regional impact and global relevance in the renewable energy and the climate workspace, right? Positioning for regional impact. Now, we've talked about what you can do, but how can you position yourself for not just local or regional impact? Now, who is Tega Ishaya? Tega Ishaya is the lead CEST Youth Nigeria. That stands for Commonwealth Sustainable Energy Transition. It is an action group here located in Nigeria. She is primarily an electrical engineer. She spent a decade of her career, not her entire career. She spent a decade of her career in the heart of Nigeria's power sector. She has worked on front lines of power distribution at the Ikeja Electric. She's one of Nigeria's distribution companies where she improved operational efficiencies. She gained deep insight into the regulatory and technical realities that define energy delivery in this country. Today, she works as a commercial development associate at Electron Nigeria, where she drives strategy, she drives business development for some Nigerians' most consequential energy infrastructure projects spanning independent power, embedded generation, and renewable solutions. Can you hear me? Please confirm you can hear me. I'm hearing the noise in the background. I'm not sure if it's coming from my end.
I can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. So she understands how the energy sector works, and she can help any organization make their power project bankable, right? She is, like I mentioned earlier, the lead as CSET Youth Nigeria, which stands for Commonwealth Sustainable Energy Transition Action Group, where she mobilizes young leaders across the country to advance clean energy access through policy advocacy and grassroots actions. Tega is exactly the kind of voice we need in our industry today. It's our pleasure to have Tega Ishaya on the call today. She will be taking us on the position and how to position ourselves for regional impact and for global relevance in the RE space. Tega, welcome, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good morning, everyone. It's still morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tega Ishaya, and I'll be sharing my screen now so that we can begin. We don't have a lot of time. Hold on. Can you see my screen, everybody?
Yes, we can see your screen, Engineer Tega.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and thank you. I'm happy to be here today. My name is Tega Ishaya. I am an electrical engineer with a decade of experience in the power sector across power distribution, grid operation, working across energy project development here in Nigeria. And today I want to talk to us about something I think about a lot, something I also struggled with, even as an electrical engineer and somebody already having a landing in the energy sector and renewable energy sector as a whole, and how we can position ourselves to drive real impact while, staying relevant in global conversations. So I want to say that it is not just theory. It's easy to come and, read and say, you do this and do that. I'm going to be sharing from my own journey, and I'm going to be sharing from a framework that I wrote in a book that I call Civic Pro. A lot of the things I'm going to touch is also still to emphasize what our first speaker has, spoken about. But I would really need to drill down on how this is in theory and how it has also helped me also move up in my career in the energy space. So the challenge. I know a lot of us are not Nigerians, we're Africa, and to set the scene, Africa's energy reality is Africa's energy reality. We have countries like Kenya, Nigeria, and other countries who are having the same issue. And Nigeria, for context, has about 16 gigawatts of installed generation capacity, but we can only dispatch around 4.4 gigawatts. I think the highest was about 5.5 gigawatts, and we've not really exceeded 5 so far. And we have a lot of losses, ATC and C losses. We have private investment being, constrained by not being able to recover whatever investment cost that's been put into this project. And on the other hand, we have mini grid and distributed renewables growing very fast. And across the continent, people still lack reliable electricity. And what does this mean for us? It means that we all have the same challenge that the world is trying to solve. So everybody is trying to solve the same energy challenge. We're not alone. We're not alone. And a lot of professionals, a lot of young graduates are not where the conversations are happening. So I'm going to even start with the question which we're answering in this presentation. How do we position ourselves to make real impact both locally and also gain, relevance globally? So that's what Civic Pro is about. That's what we're going to be talking about here. Please, just to come back, am I being heard? Is anybody hearing me? I just need a nod.
Yes,
or a thank you. Yeah,
Sure.
thank you. So, Civic Pro. When I was thinking about it, I thought about it in the sense of what is civic responsibility? Like, what's your civic responsibility to you as a graduate, to you as someone that wants to work in the energy sector? So, Civic Pro is an acronym. It has 8 pillars that I believe every professional, every person that wants to go into the energy sector needs to really grow deliberately, to grow to the position to be able to, give regional impact and even have global relevance as a whole. And the first 5 civic are about building your foundation. How do you build your foundation? We'll talk about position. We'll talk about getting in there. Do you really have what it takes to even be there? Are we just more interested in being there than really having value that we want to give out there? So the first 5 civic are about your foundation, and C is for courses. Now, C is for courses, I is for interdisciplinary thinking, V is for volunteering, which our first speaker covered, I is for internships and rotational experiences, and C is for conference. And the last 3, Pro, are about advancing your career trajectory. When you've been able to, do some of these things in the first 5 pillars, what next? How do you grow about that? And I had the same issue, having worked in the disco I worked in the distribution sector that's on grid for over 6 years. And I, as an engineer in the energy sector as a whole, still struggled to pivot into positioning myself, having real impact. So this is a case of something that I also have struggled with, and I've grown past that. So Pro is about advancing your career trajectory, professional identity, relationships, and ongoing learning. Each of this is something that we may or may not have been doing in different forms. And another question I want us to ask ourselves is that, are you really deliberately working to position yourself for impact, or you just want to have impact without doing any work? So Civic Pro, we're going to breeze through it and talk about what we really need to actually build that regional credibility. So courses, please, if you have a degree in this room, can you give thumbs up? I want to see all of us that have a degree. I'm not saying you are an engineer, you have a degree, you went to university, you have a degree. Please, I need thumbs up so that I know it's only 5 people that went to school here. You graduated, you have a certificate, you probably have even done your master's. Please clap for yourself. Well done. Clap for yourself. I need claps, not just thumbs up. Okay, well done. So your degree has brought you to this room. Your degree has brought you to this conversation that we're currently having. You have a degree, that's why you're here. If you don't have a degree, you won't be here. So your degree has brought you something already. But you need more because the sector keeps moving. As at the time I graduated, it looked like the grid was the only thing. At that time, renewable energy, it was there, but we didn't think of it as to mini grid. We didn't think of it as to, taking over more. We didn't think of renewable grid more than solar home systems. We didn't think that there will be more. But the things were happening in other countries. And if you just think that your degree will make you position for regional impact, it's a lie. And that is why the kind of degree doesn't even matter at the end of the day. If you're interested in the sector, there are things that you need to do to find yourself there. The sector keeps moving. You hear about carbon markets. You hear about battery storage. Even in the renewable energy, a lot of solutions that are coming in. Are you conversant with them? Do you know what is happening? So for you to actually position for regional impact, you need to know what is happening. There's carbon market. There's financial modeling. There's ESG reporting. These are all part of what it means to be in the renewable energy space. It's not just to be able to install. It's not a technical stuff. It's not an engineering stuff. There are key things that you need to know, you need to be aware of to be able to even have impact. And one thing I would say is that how many of you do meaningful courses every year? I say meaningful courses because it's not just to go and do the course, quickly upload on your LinkedIn to say that, okay, you've done one course. Were they meaningful? Were they really subject to the sector you're trying to go into? Did you really learn? Did you really learn from it? What value? Did you share those values? What value did you get from taking those courses? So one of the 5 pillars for your building your regional credibility is taking these courses. The next one is interdisciplinary. As the CEO of, the founder of GreenPath said, the energy sector does not care about your department. I use energy sector because renewable energy is under energy. Does not care about your department, does not care whether you did physics, does not care whether you did chemistry, does not care whether you did biology. You don't need engineering to be in the energy sector. I am an engineer, but I've seen a lot of lawyers, a lot of finance people, a lot of people that don't have any background in energy doing so well in the sector. So it is not about having an engineering degree. The energy sector does not care about your department. You need to just understand how it works. And understanding how it works does not mean you have to go and do technical courses. You have to understand policy. You have to understand technical to some extent, and you have to have commercial awareness. You have to deliberately take on projects outside what you're currently doing to be able to know what is happening in the renewable energy sector. The third one is volunteering. A lot of us underestimate what volunteering does to us. Volunteering with energy access organizations or renewable organizations or professional organizations gives you exposure to the real challenges and things that your day job may not give you. There are a lot of volunteering organizations happening. But how many of us are like, we don't want to do the work? We're not interested. We are worried whether we can do well. It's volunteer because they don't expect you to be an expert. So a lot of these volunteering organizations help you to have the professional knowledge, makes you exposed to what is really happening in the sector. And it is necessary that you, one way or the other, engage in this volunteering organization. You want to be in renewable energy. There are a lot of renewable energy associations. There are a lot of associations that need volunteers. They may be volunteering in things that you're not knowledgeable in, but that doesn't mean you cannot learn. So volunteering will open your eyes to what is happening in the sector to position yourself for regional impact. The fourth one is internship and rotational experience, which is almost the same thing as volunteering. And internship is not for fresh graduates. Even as a career professional, you can do secondment. Your organization may have a sister organization that is into renewable energy or that is doing something in energy, and you can ask to have rotational experience. This doesn't mean you leave your job. It just means that, oh, maybe you probably assist to do something. You may even be working in the energy sector, but not anything that concerns energy as a whole. You can do rotational experience. As a mid-career person, as a professional, you can do that. You can short a cross-functional project. You can even take leave, and during that leave, go and do internship in another organization. It's allowed. It's allowed. You can do these things to be able to see for yourself what is happening in the industry and how you can come in. And the last of these 5 pillars is conferences. I already spoke about this. There are a lot of conferences happening every day. And a lot of times, I think we see this conference and say, who will I meet? Yes, a lot of times, everybody may be busy, but you can get more from conferences. You can network, and it doesn't have to be everybody. You can pick one person, have meaningful conversations. When you're on LinkedIn, you see these conferences being announced. You see one or two people saying they're attending. You can pick one person and make a note and say, okay, this particular person, I'll meet you in this conference. I'm going to use an example of a conference I wanted to attend. I saw it on LinkedIn, and a lady posted this, and she said she will be speaking, or she'll be there. So I chatted her up, like, oh, I'm going to come for this conference. Can you share your number so that I can see you? I started the conversation even before the conference. And when I got to the conference, I called her, saw her. It was easy to even form a bond, because note that I'd already started having a conversation before the conference, knowing that she would go. So you can use that method. It may be one person, maybe two person. You can start having a conversation even before the conference, so that when you get there, you're not idle. You're not looking like you don't know anybody. You can easily, call that person you've tried to reach out to, and you guys can, enjoy the conference together, network, and you get opportunities. A lot of them, we don't know what is happening because we don't know people that know what is happening. So conferences, a lot of them happen. If you check the internet for any renewable, there's one happening every other month. So we should try and go there. It is not only just for networking. Another thing conferences does is tell you where the sector is going. You see an energy conference, you see the topic. Once you see the topic, you have an idea of what is happening in the sector. It can be storage, it can be open source, it can be anything. The topics of these conferences give you an insight of where the next shape is happening, where it is happening in the sector. So conferences are important, not just for networking. You're allowed to meet people, but you're able to see where the sector is going when you attend this kind of conferences. Because of time, I'll quickly move to the second framework for CVPro, which is the pro pillars. These are what it now takes to have regional credibility and project it globally. And number one is professional identity, and this can feel very uncomfortable. I also had a challenge with this, but you have to have a professional identity, because it goes ahead of you. If someone opens your page on LinkedIn, what do they know that you stand for? What do they know you're doing? When somebody calls you, when somebody say, oh, calls your name in anywhere, in Lagos, in Kenya, in Zimbabwe, what is the first thing they do? I will need somebody to answer. If you're in the professional sector and somebody calls you, what is the first thing you do? I need some answers, if you don't mind, one or two, so that we can quickly move. If you're in the office and maybe somebody's talking about somebody outside your office and they call the name, what do you do first? Anyone? You can mute your mic and say something.
I do training in solar, CCTV, and computer hardware.
Okay, I said when somebody's name comes up in a conversation, what do you do first? When you hear about somebody.
Okay, I didn't get that.
I said if you're having a conversation with people in the professional space and somebody's name comes up, what is the first thing you do?
I try to check it out.
Thank you. Correct. You check it out. And a lot of times, where do you check it? On LinkedIn.
Yeah, I go to LinkedIn. Sometimes I use Google.
So your professional identity is very important. If you post on LinkedIn, you will have something on Google. There's a place where LinkedIn allows you to on a tab where somebody can check your Google and see things that you've put on LinkedIn. You'll be surprised to see a lot of things that you're doing. So your professional identity really is very important. Please, can someone mute the mic? Hello? Okay, that's better. So your professional identity is very important because it goes ahead of you. When your name comes up in conversations, the first thing people will do is to check your LinkedIn. When they check your LinkedIn and see what you're doing, they're able to put, an identity to that name. So your profile, your posts, your activities, it shows that you are a serious professional in the energy space. And it doesn't have to do with your degree. If you post about energy, nobody's going to come and go and scroll and scroll. Yes, they may do that, but by the time you do all these courses, do the first 5 pillars, you're already knowledgeable about the sector. So you can talk about what you do. Talking about what you do is very serious. It's very serious in the energy space. It's serious. Do not leave it to chance. You don't just upload your profile and think that somebody's just going to come and look for you in thin air. It doesn't happen like that. By the time you talk about what you do, talk about the courses you do, talk about your rotations, talk about the people you met, talk about the conferences you go to, people will they would probably like, comment, and other people will see it. It means that your network will be expanded. People will see you and they would connect with you. These are the things that you should not leave to chance. I see someone raising their hand. If you have any question, you can put them in the comment section. Your questions will be taken and answered after the panel section. So do not leave that to chance. I, for one, had that issue of leaving it to chance. In the early years of my career,
Hello.
I left it to chance what you're doing.
Okay, she's back. Yes, you're back. We can hear you.
Okay. So I was saying good work is not good work if nobody sees it. So make sure
Apologies all for the break. I'm guessing she's having a network glitch. Let's give her some time to get her network sorted.
to correct you. Hello, I'm
You're
so
back.
sorry. I don't know if you can see my screen.
Yes, you're back.
Okay.
Welcome.
So I'm going to quickly round up. The last is relationships and ongoing learning. Relationship, we've already spoken about it. You need to, be able to build relationship in the sector. You can build them by, going into, you can build them by, LinkedIn, your other people that you've worked with and all that. And lastly is ongoing learning. See, there is always something new coming up in the sector. Yesterday, I heard about graphite batteries. I said, which one is this one again? The learning doesn't stop. Ongoing learning for professionals who would stay long term, you can never stop learning. You have to read what is happening. There is World Energy Outlook. You can follow IRENA, or even simple NEC reports. You can know about what is happening. NEC published their net billing rule. Before they even published it, earlier in the year, they sent a draft that people should comment. A consumer should comment. I don't know how many people even commented already. There is a lot of information out there, and just staying abreast of those information will make you be able to position. You will know conversations that happen. If you don't know what's happening, how do you really want to position for impact and even global relevance as a whole? So I'm going to quickly talk about where we are. So first, in renewable energy, there's distributed renewables, mini grids, and the whole community is looking for professionals who can actually do things. For example, in my organizations, we have a challenge getting project finance developer, people that can model these projects. At the end of the day, you want these projects to work, you want them to bring revenue. We need professionals in this sector who can do beyond just technical, who can say, okay, this project is viable, we can make there are a lot of projects that are happening that they are not grants. There are people, investors coming into the sector and they want to get value for their money. How do you come in? There's policy and finance, there's tariff reform, there's regulatory, there's a lot of things happening in the sector, and you can fit anywhere. It's not just a technical sector. And the people that would usually position themselves very well, pick what they are interested in, will be the ones that would actually show up international and be able to be there when opportunities appears. And you don't need to leave Nigeria to even be globally relevant. Last year, I went to Belgium for a World Bank stakeholder events. I was in Nigeria. I got the opportunity to join one of these trainings, and in the trainings we were asked to send in an idea. I had this idea in my mind that has been sitting, but I had written about it, I had researched, I had drafted it. And when the opportunity came, it was like, submit today, tomorrow. Like, the timeline was very short, but because I already had it already through reading, through doing research, through doing courses, I just submitted. And I got sent a message to, appear for the event, all sponsored paid. And there are a lot of other things. Even Ayo can tell you about a lot of programs that he's been able to go. He's been able to build global relevance through those programs. But by really, doing what it takes, it's not going to really just come like that. You have to also put in the work. So you don't need to actually leave Nigeria to be excellent. You need to just be excellent here and make sure that the world can see it by what you do. I was going to do an action today, which is, look at all the frameworks and see where you are lacking. rate yourself and see where you are so that you know what next you can do. You look at your lowest score. What actions do you need to take to be able to, do what it takes to position yourself globally? I'll be here for the panel discussion. So I would like that, bring in your questions. This slide will be sent to also that you can fill it later because we don't have so much time for you to do that here. And I'll be here for the panel section. So bring in your questions, bring in any question you have on these things that we've said. We'll be able to talk about it more in the panel section. So I'll just wrap up here. Thank you so much. I look forward to more conversations. And I mentioned the CV Pro is a book that will be shared also with the slides. You can download and read more and know how you can actually position for regional impact and global relevance. Thank you so much for your time. See you in the panel session. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Tega. It's been thought-provoking, I must say. You've successfully given us practical steps to take. The framework is well detailed. I mean, I just hope our participants today has taken one or two actions, or are already even taking one or two actions as the training is going on, because I mean, there is no time. This is the time to position yourself rightly. I also wanted to ask Tega, is it possible we get a link for the assessment? It would be good for participants to just self-assess themselves while the session is going on, or maybe after the session. Is it?
Okay. While the session is going, I'll share the link. I think that would be good. Okay. I'll just share it in the chat. Yes.
Oh, great. Thank you. So we'll continue hearing from her, of course, as she has said. We need to go beyond the Nigerian borders. We need to go even beyond Africa. If you are in Zambia, Zimbabwe, wherever you're located, and you desire opportunities outside of your base country, it is possible. It is possible. Just position yourself rightly, identify the key stakeholders, and also identify the key players in your space. Also identify the skill gap you have, where you need to upskill, where you need to plug into. What she mentioned, something that I could relate to. We say RE sector. RE sector is quite broad. We have transactors in this space. One of the attendees also mentioned that he's an accountant. As an accountant, you definitely have a space in the RE sector as a transactor. Like she mentioned, you can, thrive in developing financial models and making projects or transactions bankable. Investors, especially climate-centered investors, are looking to be able to invest. Yes, we are climate-centric. We are looking to ensure that there is climate resiliency in the project they're looking to ensure that there's climate resiliency in the project that they finance, but they also want profitable transactions. So as an accountant, you can position yourself, like, regardless of your background. What I took from her session was that regardless of your background, you can take from what you already know, from your professional background, and also just improve, upskill on it in such a way that you are well suited to serve the RE market. So it's been a very engaging session. Thank you so much, Tega. We're going to proceed very quickly because of our time. Oh, excuse me, my video is not on. So sorry about that. Okay, we're going to proceed very quickly to the panel discussion. We're going to have, because of our time, we are behind time, and we apologize for that, but there's an important part of today's session that you don't want to miss. We have some resources that we would like to share with you. It's a little goodie bag we want to give you to take back with you and begin to act on, so that you can come back and say, yes, this session was very impactful. I was able to take this and this and this action from this session, and I am better for it today. So we have a goodie bag packed for you. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be shared with us at the end of this panel session. So please stick with us. Don't go anywhere. I will quickly invite our founder, Mr. Ayobami, to turn on his video camera so we can comment the panel session. We're going to be taking very quick questions. We also have Tega. I'm able Tega. Also turn on your video. Let's have this session together very quickly. We are going to assign 1 minute per question. So please help us manage our time. We're already way behind time. So we want to make sure we give back as much from our experiential knowledge to our audience today. So I'll be taking questions during this panel session, but as participants, if you have questions that you think are not being addressed by the questions I'm posing to our speakers, please do well to just drop it in the comment section. And please, as you're dropping your questions, title it questions so that I can identify those questions very easily and would run through them as soon as we get through the questions for the panel session. Okay, are we ready? Are we good to go?
Yep.
Okay, your audio is good. Tega, are you good to go? Are you ready? Because I'm starting with you. Please confirm.
Yes, yeah, confirm.
Okay, so Tega, thank you so much for your wealth of experience. I have learned a lot. I'm sure a lot of us have also learned a lot. I want to ask you a question particular to your position in CSET Youth Nigeria. In that position, you work closely with young professionals who are navigating the local as well as the global space, right? What does standing out actually look like for you at one's early career stage? I don't want theory, I want practical steps. How do I stand out? We've touched on, upskilling. We've touched on volunteering. You gave us the civic pro framework, but you, right, as a professional, how did you, let me pose it that way, how did you position yourself to stand out in the early stage of your career, and how can we learn from that today? 1 minute.
Okay, 1 minute. Okay. So for me, I was very inquisitive. Information helps you do more. You need to know what's happening. That's the only thing that will drive you. If you're within a box, you can't see what's happening out there. So as a young professional, I was always doing one course or the other. A lot of times I even know these things, but it made me to be able to know what is happening. If you don't know what's happening, there's nothing you can do about it. Example, this program, there are a lot of people that need this, and they are not here. Information is very vital. Information helped me. In fact, information is actually the key. Information is what has helped me to see that it's possible, to see that this person is doing it, that person is doing it, this is what I can do better. Having access to this information changes everything. You are thinking about it, but if they are not in front of you, if you're not seeing them, you don't know that this happened. You don't know that it exists. So a lot of time we need to be where the information is. We need to be where it is happening. We need to hear. We need to see people doing this so that we can imagine that we are there ourselves and follow and do what it takes. So for me, what has really helped me stand, I would say information, but inquisitiveness. You have to even want to see those information and do what it takes, to be there. So these are what has really helped me stand out as a young professional in the energy space. I see people doing it, and I'm like, how are they doing these things? I go and check, what have they done? I do what they've done, But if I don't see these things, I don't have this information, I will have no idea that it's possible. So information has really helped me. Inquisitiveness, wanting to do and know has also really helped me, come up and do things in this space. Someone has sent a question. Thank you. I don't want to exceed 1 minute. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, that's very profound. And that got me thinking about some of my colleagues who would also reach out to me and say, oh, I'm looking to, navigate this space. I don't know how to go about it. In fact, I don't even know how I can position my skills rightly. And one thing is a hack I'll just share here that I usually share with them that I do is this. I go into LinkedIn and look out for people who are where I want to be, individuals who are in positions that I want to be. And I go through their profile and check what competencies have they built over the years, what certifications have they acquired, what was their trajectory. I know LinkedIn has a way of highlighting, how one has grown from the start of their career. And sometimes you'll be surprised to see people who are, maybe who are medical professionals. You are seeing them in the financial space and you're wondering, what's the correlation? But you would see a great trajectory. And without the inquisitive mind, trust me, you would not know that. So that's one hack. Thank you for that response. Always have an open, inquisitive, explorative mind to find out where am I lacking, where do I want to be, and how can I get there, and how can I use people's experience to find myself there. Thank you so much. That's a wonderful response. Okay, to Mr. Ayobami, This question is also a very practical question. We have several participants in our session today who are 9-to-5ers. Maybe have gained 7 to 15 years of experience in the oil and gas sector, or who are starters in their career. Maybe they are starters in their career and they found themselves in the volunteering phase of their career. They're just, taking the little steps they can take. They are all maybe in the NGO sector, in the civil engineering sector, and maybe some feel either overqualified or underqualified in another sense. Now, how do you reframe experience like that so that it becomes an asset rather than a liability when applying to the RE energy, that's RE roles, right? How do you reframe your experience that you've gained so far to become valuable in the RE space? That's to you, Mr. Ayobami. 1 minute.
Okay. Thank you, Shirley. I mean, it's a good question, and like you said, within a minute, I should be able to answer this. So I think for those in the oil and gas space, I mean, that's a question, yes. I mean, for those who have that kind of experience,
for those in the multi-sectoral space, you have participants from different sectors who want to break into the RE space and have different background from their sectors, right? How do they break into how do they harness the experience they've had so far to become an asset in the RE space?
Okay, yeah, I think one of the first, the core thing, for someone like that to do is to stop seeing themselves as, let's say, for instance, you're coming from the banking sector, you shouldn't see yourself as a banker, right? There are some transferable skills that you could use in the renewable energy sector. So, for instance, I want to use myself as an example. I have a journalism background. I mean, I got into journalism by accident. I did political science and international relations, and then I found myself in journalism. But then I didn't see myself as a writer, kind of, because what I knew was that the time was going to come that the focus is going to be on Africa, particularly on Africa renewable energy industry. And each company, each brand is going to need someone who is going to be able to translate some of those complex ideas in the industry to the general public, to the investors. So I started seeing myself as a communications person for those companies, right? So I didn't limit myself. I mean, it's mostly just a thing of the mind. So I didn't limit myself by saying, okay, I'm a writer, I'm a journalist. No, I started seeing myself that, okay, what are the transferable skills? Writing is one of it. Communications is one of it. So if you're someone like you're coming from a traditional background, maybe you're even you work in an NGO, and then you want to come into the renewable energy space. And what skills, what role do you currently play there? If you're a program manager at an NGO, you can also be a program manager at the renewable energy company, right? So most times it's just the name that changes. It's still virtually almost the same thing, right? It just is maybe little things that change about it. The core skills still remain. So even let's say you're an oil and gas person, you're an oil and gas engineer, there are still transferable skills that you can use for the solar energy industry. So it's not really not that much. It's just really a thing of the mind and being flexible in your mind, like Tega mentioned, being very flexible.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. He mentioned something critical. Don't think you cannot transfer skills. Whatever you are doing in your current role, trust me, it's pretty much a skill an organization, an RE organization might need in the future. So don't think your skills are not transferable. They are transferable. That's very key. Thank you so much. To you still, Mr. Ayobami, you built GreenPath Africa, right? You built this entity to address the workforce gap in Africa's clean energy space. What is the single biggest mistake that you see talented African candidates make that cost them opportunities that they are fully qualified for? 1 minute, sir. Hello, can you hear me? You're muted, we can't hear you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, so the single biggest mistake I see from applicants and professionals who want transition or who pass on opportunities is thinking that their skills are not transferable.
Hmm.
Like we mentioned, we've established there's virtually no skill, no background you're coming from that does not find its space in the RE space, in the clean energy space, in the climate space. For instance, you could be a medical practitioner and then find yourself in the climate space as what? So there's something called climate health anxiety, right? It has to do with the mind. It has to do with anxiety when it comes to climate change. So as a medical practitioner, you can easily just pivot into that space as a medical practitioner, right? So one of the biggest mistake I've usually seen from people is thinking that, oh, I'm a mechanical engineer, or this is what I mean. It's just a thing of the mind, like I mentioned. So your skills are transferable. If you're a lawyer, you can work. I have a friend who's a lawyer. She works in a renewable energy company as a general counsel, as their company secretary rather, right? So the same skill, right? But being flexible with the mind, it's very easy to overcome. But like to reiterate again, the major issue, the major hindrance I've seen is thinking that your skills are not transferable, thinking that what you studied is not important, is not relevant in the RE space.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you so much. Thank you. I would direct my next question to you, and that will be the last question before we take the participants' question for you. There's a growing number of people interested in the business side of clean energy today. I recall a couple of them also introduced themselves on the call. You know, SMEs in the clean energy space, some in the project finance space, some who are business developers who want to build their own enterprise, right, in the clean energy space, or, you know, have their own organization, you know, be their own boss. Are these career paths in the Africa RE space available, and how can they plug themselves into it? Or should gaining experience from a reputable organization be the first action to take? That's to you, Mr. Ayo.
Yeah, so if I get your question correctly, people interested in the space and they're coming from project finance, business development, right?
Yes, they're interested in setting up a business in the RE space. Maybe a solar installation business, or a solar importation business, or a financial advisory service for DRE projects, right? And they are just starting up their career, do they first start in already established organizations, build an experience, build portfolios, handle multiple projects, or just go directly into launching themselves into their businesses?
Okay, I mean, there's no one way to it, right? What matters is the end result. And I want to take from Tega's presentation. She mentioned maybe the possibility of taking a leave, maybe a month or two, and then interning at an organization that you're interested in, right? So, there's no one way to it. Like everything still boils down on how, number one, how desperate you are to have what you want, and then how flexible your mind is, right? You can say, for instance, you work in the finance sector, and then you want to take a leave. Maybe you find a company or a brand that is into solar home systems. I mean, you can work with them for a month or two to gain the needed experience, bearing in mind that your core skills is finance. So what you just want to do is to familiarize yourself with some of the things, maybe the language, the lingo in the RE space. And then as you go along, you learn, because there's never an end to learning. So you can never be truly ready. So if you want to do it, of course, have the needed skills and then just jump right into it. Nobody really figures it out before they do it. And might I shock you, some of the founders of thriving RE businesses in Africa that I know personally, they have no technical background. Some of them have no finance background. Some of them, they just add it on the radio. Some of them, I know of someone who visited a grandma in the village, and then it saw a solar lamp, and from there, a business idea struck in her mind. And then today, it's very big in solar home systems sales in Africa.
Wow, thank you for that response. Hence, your response says experience is key, and your drive is also key. It depends on how your drive, depends on what direction your drive takes you, but you also need to garner the experience. Thank you so much for that response. My final question to Tega is, there's a perception that African professionals must prove themselves locally first before, going regional or going international or finding international opportunities. Do you think that is true? Do you think it's something that can be circumvented with the right strategy?
So I think it's my thoughts, so I can think what I want.
Yes. Sorry. Let me.
I think it's partially true, unfair, but partially true. And I think it's partially true because these international organizations, these firms, they want to see that you have done something. They're not going to just pick anybody, They want to see that you've done something real. And this is where talking about what you've done comes in. I struggle with this a lot, and there's something that I know that a lot of people that know stuff, they don't like talking about it. I don't know, they're saying that like maybe you have too much knowledge. You are not sharing, but the people that don't know it, they are sharing. But you that knows it, you don't want to talk about what you're losing out. That's why we do interviews. That's why somebody just say, look at you and say, you can do the job, come and resume. You have to show that you can do something. You have to talk about what you do. It's unfair, but a young professional in other parts of the country will simply go to network, will simply talk about what they do. There's lower barrier for them. But here, you need to show that you need to have a track record of things that you've done. Okay, what do you want to do? You want to attend these events, you want to travel, you talk about what you do. It's like talking about where you've worked, what you've done, what programs you've done, what you've experienced, what you've learned, what you've taught people. And these are the things that you should show. Now, it doesn't happen for anybody, but I think it's partially true. People want to know, or these organizations want to see, they want to see impressive stuff, not your background, not your what will I say, your degree rather, not your degree. So it's not really about your degree. What have you done? What presence have you shown? What have you contributed to matters that are actually, what presence have you brought to the conversation? These things matter. They matter. So yes, it's a perception, but you can maneuver it by, having confidence to build and talk about what you're building. That's as an entrepreneur or even as a 9-to-5er. So that's my answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tega. This question goes to the both of you. I have one more question, but I would rather go to the comment section and pick some questions. I'm seeing some very critical questions that needs to be answered before our time zooms up, before I now come back to my own question. Okay, Brenda is saying here, Tega, you mentioned that in the professional world, you would keep learning, which is right. But personally, for me, I wanted to specialize specifically in the green hydrogen sector, but I don't know how the market will be in the next years. Should I specialize or be open to any RE sector, such as solar, wind, hydro? What do you think? The question is thrown to the two of you.
Okay, let me go. So with everything that's happened in the energy space, if I knew that the renewable energy space would be like this now, I probably would have, moved a long time ago. Young graduate, I got a job with this one. It was a good one. As an electrical engineer, I was an operations person. Means I was a technical person, operation and maintenance. Currently, I don't really do much of technical. But at that time, I had renewable jobs, but they couldn't pay. And the reason was because it was just advancing. Let me say in Nigeria, not advancing, it was there, but there were not a lot of projects that were happening that were defining how the sector would be. So context being that you really would not know what's going to take place in the next 10 years. Battery storage that we see like this. It started from your finger batteries to car batteries, research, a lot of research, a lot of work, including the one you're going to put in, has gone to make sure that these different technologies work over time. So I can't tell you that you should focus on hydrogen, but you can't just pick one. You have to have an idea of the entire sector as a whole. Then if you want to, specify the niche, you can drill down on hydrogen. How do you know that? Why are you even bothered about whether it will fail or not? I don't know people that want to do research. I don't know companies that want to really see if it will fail or it will work. So that shouldn't really be a problem. If it's hydrogen you're interested in, go with your guts, go to hydrogen. It doesn't mean you will not have an idea of how the sector works. I have an on-grid experience, but I can work anywhere. Currently, I work in IPP, I work in development. The basics of energy is the basic all around. The technology is what differs. And yes, you can have a general idea and niche, but your problem shouldn't be whether it will work or not. Those are left for industry, first world cause, the people driving the change, not us here, permit me to say. So I hope that answered your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Tega. That's well detailed. So to Brenda, get general knowledge, get general industry knowledge before you specialize, right? Okay, second question, House of Power Enterprise. As one who runs a new technical and vocational training center in the RE space, digital security and surveillance computer, okay, ICT space, how can I gain visibility, impacts, and build prosperity in this sector? Mr. Ayo, do you want to take this?
Yes, definitely. I mean, in the comment section, I already answered, and very, very simple. LinkedIn. So one of the ways to do that is, how do people know who you are? You share your expertise, right? The people you follow on social media, if you're Christian, your pastors, whatever religion whatever you are doing, you know about their expertise based on what they are saying, what they share, right? So one thing I also want us to understand is that whether you like it or not, every company that we have today and every individual is a content machine, right? So everything you've done, every businesses you've met, you've had interaction with, you were able to interact with them based on the content they shared. It could be your church. You shared it. I mean, for those of us who are Christians, I mean, the Bible is a content, right? Everything Jesus Christ said is content. So what I'm going to do is this. What I will advise is this. Use LinkedIn and share content. Share content on your expertise, and then as much as possible, reduce the technical jargon. Speak everyday language on your LinkedIn. Let people understand that, hey, I understand the sector, but then I'm speaking in plain, simple English. Do you understand? So share it. You go to conferences, share it there. I mean, there's no shortcut to it, to getting visibility. You need to show your expertise, and the way you show your expertise is by sharing your content.
Thank you so much, Mr. Aya. That's very profound. Increase your visibility, advertise, publicize, and make it easy to understand. Make the plain market man and market woman able to understand what your business is about. Don't go there saying this solar is, a lithium 100 peak hour battery. Nobody wants to know that. Break it down as easy and as comprehensible as possible. That's very profound. Thank you. Okay, Emmanuel Okon is asking here, as someone who wants to further his career in the RE space and become an RE systems engineer, but also an expert in the digital sales and marketing space, how do I combine both? I mean, Ayo, this question is for you. Please go ahead and answer. How he wants to know how to combine being an RE engineer and a sales professional in the industry.
So I already answered on the comment section. I mean, you start by by applying for a communications role at a clean energy company. So one thing I also want us to understand is that sometimes because of the words used in the advertisement of a role, you might think it's not for you. So you have a digital marketing skill. So you might be looking out for digital marketing roles in that particular word. Right. So, but no, it isn't usually like that. Sometimes they can just ask for, let's say, a communication specialist, right? Sometimes they may just ask for a content marketer, right? So they are the same things, really. I mean, most of these questions is not something you can just answer within a minute, right? So, but then start by applying for a communications role at a clean energy firm.
Thank you, Ayo. Oluwatobi Benjamin is asking if there are internship opportunities or volunteering opportunities within GreenPath Africa. Right? You want to take that?
Yes. I know. I mean, so the thing is, in the community rather, we share opportunities daily. But currently at GreenPath, we are not hiring now, but we have needs in the coming months. Of course, once you're connected in the community, we can definitely, by the time we want to put such opportunity out, we'll share it first with the community before taking it outside. And I hope you apply by then.
Okay. Because of our time, I have one question to pose to Tega. Tega, so you've built enough experience in the RE space, and for newcomers in this space or new professionals, they'll be wondering what are the roles that exist in the RE space that I can easily plug into and build competence in that area. Can you highlight 3-4 roles that exist in the RE space that one can expand, their current skill on? 3 or 4 roles. I mean, I'm going to pose that question to Ayo as well, based on your experience so far in the industry.
Okay, so before I go into what the roles are, I mentioned I was an operations and maintenance engineer in the disco before pivoting to where I currently work, which covers IPP, renewables, and embedded generation. And it was difficult to break the barrier of knowing what to apply for, because the idea is I was looking for operation and maintenance roles. That was what I was looking for, which is really wrong. It's your skill that actually matters. Like Ayo has said, what can you do? When I went for my interview, when I saw the role, the title was commercial development. Even a lot of time we see business development rules and we want to run away because we think it's sales. Read the job responsibility. You may not even see anything related to energy. It may just be show up and do, work, look for relationship building. You may not see anything that it's an energy company, but the roles really don't, define what you can do. So just use your skill set and apply. So some of the roles I talked about, you can be a commercial associate, you can be a business development. There's business development, there's commercial, there's legal. We need lawyers. Lawyers are the one even balling in this sector. Permit me to use the word. We need a lot of lawyers. We need them to work on our PPAs. We need lawyers. There's no energy firm right now that doesn't have a legal team. And we lack them because you need to have an idea of what the energy sector needs to bring in your expertise as a lawyer. We need finance people, not just finance. Like I said, we need project development people. We need ESG. We need safety. We need civil engineers. When you're building a power plant, when you're building a mini, you need civil engineers. All the roles matter, but they may not be called that roles, like Ayo said. So to list, in fact, let's list our roles in the comment section. If you list out there, you matter. Whatever you're currently doing, it is in the energy space. So not one person. The engineers are not even the ones. And as engineers, I want to say that if an engineer here like me, people tend to think that we are more privileged, like we have more access to what is happening, but it's a lie. It's not true. We are boxed in a role. Meanwhile, we can do more. We can contribute more. So even as an engineer, don't be boxed to think that you must just go to field, you must install. Your technical knowledge is needed in commercials. Your technical knowledge is needed to, finance that PPA. You know what happens in the field. You can easily improve the commercials out there. You can easily improve legal. So calling roles is even still boxing. Whatever you're doing now, you can find a job in the energy sector with that skill. But don't think about the roles. Think about what you can do. What you can do. If you read responsibilities, I'm not sure anywhere they say, apart from more technical roles, I'm not sure anywhere they say, oh, you must mount. They are just normal roles you will do at any organizations that you are in. So as a finance person, you are needed. Project development, we need financial models. In fact, there's a gap in project finance, a very large gap. And if you say you're a project finance person in renewables and you post on LinkedIn, I can tell you that recruiters will reach out to you. Like, you understand financial models, you can do project, you can develop a battery as a storage project, you can do EVs, you can do for any of the renewable. I can bet you that people will reach out to you. You know what you're doing, not just modeling. You can really tell us that, okay, if you put in this money here, this is the tariff we'll pay. You can put those things in. Recruiters are looking for you. So see, to list the roles will be absurd, but you are needed there. That's the summary. Have value, have what you want to really bring into the sector. Your role, whatever you are doing now, it can be transitioned to work. So I'm really hammering on it because I fall into that category. For a long time, I wanted to leave my organization, but I was searching for O&M roles for the longest of time. But you see roles like energy infrastructure, operation and maintenance, but energy infrastructure is somehow O&M. I was seeing roles like, okay, for example, my role, part of the role was, driving collection, making sure I was an engineer. That's part of what I was doing, but I didn't think it that way. So don't box yourself with the role. You already have what you do, your daily job. Put it and have an idea of this is what I can do, and those will apply. So there are a lot. Human resources. We need people that can look for the people that will come and work in the energy sector. So there's no role, that is not needed in the sector. So I hope this answers the question. Thank you so much.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much, Tega. For those who are unclear with what Tega has said, it cannot be overemphasized. We've been saying this from the beginning of the conversation. Your skills are transferable, right? Identify your strengths, your skills, and then position rightly for roles like she has listed. If you are somebody who has gotten an environmental management background, like I, look for roles, tilting towards ESG specialization, sustainability reporting, carbon accounting. She also mentioned finance. We have energy finance analysts, infrastructure finance analysts, renewable energy developers. The roles are endless. So I'll also ask Ayo to also give a submission on that as well. What roles do you think exist for those who, first of all, need to see a picture before they can run? That's why I'm asking this question. For those who, first of all, need to say, oh, this way I'm going to. Sometimes it's good to say, oh, this role exists and I can plug myself based on my skill set. So Ayo, what roles do you think, maybe technical or non-technical, like Tega has mentioned, do you think exist in the RE space for newcomers, new professionals to easily plug into as they scale up the career ladder?
Yeah, thank you, Shay, and thanks, Tega. Most of what I would have said, Tega has said them already. Excuse me. Like she mentioned, there's virtually no renewable energy company now operating anywhere in Africa that doesn't need a lawyer, right? Because particularly if you're a mini grid developer, you need to acquire lands, you need to acquire property. So you need a lawyer to help you to regularize that for you. Someone like me, you could be a communications manager. That's one. You could be a content marketing professional. That's another. You could be a software engineer. You could be a project manager. You could be a program manager.
Yeah.
Right? You could be an ESG specialist like you, Shay. You could virtually nothing you want to do. As I mentioned earlier, I know someone who has a medical background and who works with a non-profit that has to do with climate anxiety, right? So with his medical background, he's able to work there, right? To something. So there's virtually nothing you want to do that doesn't have a gap in the RE space or the clean energy space that you cannot plug into. What really matters is your own mind, right? Are you willing to let go of the idea that you cannot work there, right? So nothing. I mean, you can virtually work there. I'm saying this because it's as if one is overflogging it, right? But my experience, I've seen people from different backgrounds, totally unrelated to what they are currently doing in the RE space, and they are doing quite well. And I believe one or two persons who is listening to, who's watching us, can take a cue from that and start applying to some of these rules also.
Okay, thank you so much. Before we wrap up, do we have any participant who want to ask a question? Just one participant will be given the privilege to, yes, Fielders, I have seen your hand up for over 30 minutes, so we're going to allow you to speak. Thank you for your patience. Can you unmute and go ahead and ask your question?
Thank you very much for this wonderful session. I have one question.
Fielders, please introduce yourself. Introduce yourself, your country, your base country, and what you do.
Sorry. Okay, I'm Fielders Omega from Kenya, Nairobi.
Okay.
My professional is in mechanical engineering, and my background has been in electric mobility, that's particularly electric vehicles. Okay, my question is, how can someone with experience in electric vehicles transition into broader renewable energy roles?
Okay.
Yes.
How can someone with experience with electric vehicles transition into broader RE roles? Can I ask what roles in particular? What roles are you looking to transition into? That can help us narrow down the response.
The roles to enter in the renewable energy, for example, like how we manage the battery end of life.
Sorry?
Battery end life for the electric
Okay,
vehicle.
battery end life for
Yeah.
renewable energy. Okay.
Yeah.
So can I take that if you don't
Okay.
mind?
Great. Okay.
You're already in the renewable space, so, and I'm saying that because I'm currently interested in the EV space. I'm interested in EV, meaning that I'm interested in what runs an EV. So when you think about an electric vehicle, what is one thing that makes it move? Battery. Battery as a service. That's renewable energy. So you need to just tilt more towards the battery side, and you're already there. You already know what it takes. Like you're already in the renewable energy space. You are just, like I say, you are still in a box. You're thinking your skills are not transferable. There's battery thermal management. There is, in fact, for battery, there is grid storage for battery, grid scale storage, and that's where we are driving.
Is it me or is Tega?
Yes, let's get that network.
So I don't know if
Yes,
I'm
yes,
on
we
track.
can hear you.
So your direct move actually is into battery storage, and it is renewable energy, EV charging, infrastructure, grid infrastructure, maybe wind turbine, the mechanical side of wind. I don't know if you have those opportunities in your country, but as a mechanical engineer, wind, you need mechanical engineers. That's depending on whether you want to go very technical or more on the business side. So wind turbines, that's a major one for mechanical engineer. We need mechanical engineer. We need to know how the rotors, but it's not like you're going to be working in a plant where you have big grid, you have just one wind, and they're really massive structures. So wind, EVs. So you just need to deliberately think about what you want to do. I've given you two straight rules. So for broader roles, project development, engineers are needed in project development. If you see any investor team, there must be a project developer there, somebody that's actually done the work, that knows what it takes to do the work at it. So that when you see a company or someone coming and say, I want to do this project, as a field person, you already know whether this is going to work or not, because you've been in the field, you know it. If someone is bringing a new EV into the system with a battery, that you already have an idea of what it works. So you are not really in a box. There are a lot of roles that I can think about. You can go into the AC DC system of battery. There are a lot of things that you can do. So you just think about it. You're an EV engineer. I won't say you're a mechanical. You say you're an EV. You start describing yourself as an energy storage expert, because for those EVs to work, you need batteries. So just find something, find a project that has to do with batteries, and you can enter that easily. So as a mechanical engineer, you have an edge. I just want to say that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. I think we deserve a round of applause. Our speakers deserve a round of applause. They've taken their time to draw out of the wealth of their knowledge and experience and share with us today. It has been an incredible session so far. We want to say thank you to Ayobami for your eye-opening session, breaking down the entry pathways into the RE space. What are the to-dos for us? How can we position ourselves rightly? Tega compelled us not to stay quiet, right? She said the regional and the global space is ours to occupy. And she said, yes, we can occupy the global space, identify regional and global opportunities where we can volunteer at and expand and increase our impact. I hope that we're not leaving today without something to take home. And touching on something to take home, yes, we did promise us some gifts that we will be giving. These gifts are in form of information, but as you know, information is power. So I'll go right into it so we can wrap up for today. First, if you have not visited the GreenPath Africa website, please, the link is in our chat box. Please visit the website, learn more about GreenPath. And this is a platform that brings to you opportunities every day. The founder and his associates are working day and night to harness and curate opportunities that Africans can benefit from. So you want to be in this community. You definitely want to be a part of this community, just to position yourself as the first, first grabbers of these opportunities. Secondly, we have the Climate Career Festival. That's the first goodie. That's the first gift in the goodie bag, right? That's going out. This festival is a matchup with employers and job seekers, right? It's an opportunity for job seekers to have a one-on-one with potential employers and, by God's grace, get offered jobs, right? So there are 25 job slots open, confirmed to as at today. It could be more before September, but as at today, we have 25 job slots confirmed that will be given out during the Climate Career Festival happening in September. So we have partners who are partnering on this. If you want to be, on the waiting list as to career professionals that should be reached out to, please, I'm sending the link right now. Click the link and submit your interest. If you click the link, you'll see a form. A form will pop up. Submit your interest so that you will be considered first. Okay. The second gift in the goodie bag, please, I want us to appreciate the organizers of this event. It took a lot to put this together. So as I'm calling them out, appreciate them and encourage them so that more can come up. Yes, let the emojis come up. Thank you. So the second event is an energy transition boot camp coming up in August. Okay, sorry. My apologies. The Climate Career Festival is happening in Nigeria. For our audience in diaspora, it's happening live in Nigeria in Ibadan City. Should you be in Nigeria at the time, it's an event you want to attend. Okay, so let's move on to the Energy Transition Bootcamp, organized by CSET Youth Nigeria. A round of applause for CSET. It's an event where you will be equipped. You would have speed mentorship sessions embedded within the boot camp where you can have, experts in this field, people who have garnered wealth of experience, who can give you tips that can make you pivot easily. Right, so it's an energy transition bootcamp coming up in August. Details about this would also be shared with our community. So you want to be a part of the community to be abreast when these events are coming up. And for the third gift in the goodie bag, we have Civic Pro, written by our amiable Tega. The book talks about the civic responsibility to professional growth. So all that you've heard today, you want to put them to practice. What do I need to do to be abreast, with opportunities within this sector? This book has been curated for you and it's free. You want to take advantage of this book. I'm going to post the link right now in the session, in the comment section, so that we can have access to the book. It's a free book. Hold on just a minute, please. I'm trying to. Okay, so access the book through this link. Click the link to access the book. All that Tega touched on today, positioning yourself for regional and international opportunities, the frameworks that she established, and then the steps to take, you would find them within this book. Now, we have the final we have the final gift in our goodie bag today. It's also a book by our founder. It's called Breaking In, a fresh graduate's guide to breaking into the renewable energy job market. If you're a fresh graduate and you're looking to have entry-level jobs, this is the book for you. And of course, this book is not free. If you look at the comment section, a colleague of mine has posted a discount code that you only attendees for this event has access to. So you want to copy the discount code and head on to Seller and apply that discount code to get your discount. It's not an expensive book, I can tell you for sure. So knowledge is power. Equip yourself with power. That's the most effective way to position yourself as someone who's looking to gain all of these opportunities. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I would bring forward the founder to give us a closing remark. I hope you're not leaving this space not just informed. I hope you're leaving ignited. You've heard today the RE space is not reserved for some select few. You've heard your skills are transferable. You've heard that your needs, your unique background, your unique professional experience, your unique perspective, your experience so far can be the driver that will take you to where you want to be. Opportunities come for those who are prepared. So by showing up today, you've taken one step in that direction. Take the further step, you know, to engage further within the community and expand your impact. So today we thank our founder, Mr. Ayobami Adedini. We thank Tega Ishaya. Thank you. You are great and inspirational and incredible speakers. We've gained a lot. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your expertise. Thank you for your passion. And thank you for bringing such an event to us today. We're very grateful. I will yield the floor to the founder, Mr. Ayobami Adedini, to give the final closing remark. Thank you. Mr. Ayobami, over to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Before I say anything, everyone, can you just, by show of emojis, appreciate our moderator so far? She's done an excellent job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I want to thank you guys once again for being a part of this. This is the first stage of the program we are running. Like Shay mentioned earlier, we have the Climate Careers Festival coming up in September. And no, it's not just for Nigerians alone, but physically, yes, for those who are residents in Nigeria or who will be in Nigeria at that period, but the opportunities are not restricted to just Nigerians. And that said, I want to appreciate every one of you for being a part of this. I believe you're all part of the community now. If you are here to join, there's a link in the comment section for you to join the community where we share opportunities, verified opportunities to you, and then also share other resources. I'll only ask for one thing before we go. As much as possible, if you're able to share your video, can we see it? I want to take a screenshot of every one of us who is here. So if you can share your video, can you do that now so we can just take a screenshot?
Turn on your videos. Turn on your videos. Let's see your beautiful faces. Very quickly. Oh, great.
Wait for more to share theirs.
Yes, it is Pan-African focused.
Don't be shy.
Right.
I think
we're waiting for you, Tevin, Abiba. Kindly turn on your video. It doesn't matter. We don't mind. We love you the way you are, right? We love you exactly how you are. You don't need to put on makeup. No makeup. No need for makeup. Just turn on your cameras and let's do a quick picture together.
And one of the things we talked about today was visibility. So one of the ways to make sure that you're visible is by showing up your face. So can we do that now, like in the next 5 seconds, so we can just take a screenshot and then you can switch off your video again. How about that?
I have my friend on the call. Helen, turn on your video. I can't see you any longer. Are we shy? Hey, Africans are always shy people. Why are we shy? Why are we shy to turn on our videos? What's going on, guys?
And I also understand today is a weekday, so some are definitely at
work.
work. Yeah, so that's fine. So
Actually,
let me just take it now. 1 minute. Done. Okay, so I want to appreciate each and everyone for being a part of this. Today, this is the first of such event that we're hosting, and we're glad so far. We launched in January 20 this year, and so far we have members from 25 countries. I mean, that's huge for a company that is less than 6 months. So I want to thank you for taking the time to be a part of this and for sharing your precious time with us. Every resources that we share today is going to be shared in the link in the email that will be sent to you after this session. Over to you, Shay. And once again, Tega, thank you so much.
Okay, I have something to say, if you don't mind. This was last minute. We have a webinar session coming in tomorrow. Our speaker is Juliana Lamnero. She's a renewable energy and energy policy expert. She's a researcher and also an entrepreneur. She's a founder of an EV company. So for those of us that ask questions on entrepreneurship, I'm sure you'd like to be in that session to ask her, how she has been able to build. She's a woman in the sector. She's very passionate about sustainable energy, and she'll be talking more of renewable energy, but from an entrepreneurship perspective. So the link will also be shared. I'll really endeavor that you join. Thank you.
Thank you, Tega, for sharing that. I mean, it's a good time to say goodbye. You want to say goodbye to your colleague that you've networked with. Share your LinkedIn page. Click the link. Don't just share.
Bye,
Please.
everyone. Bye.
Connect
Nice
and network.
meeting you.
Right?
Nice meeting you. Have a
Let's
success.
just share our goodbyes and
Go
thank
out and make
you.
impact.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Natasha. Thank you for joining. It's been amazing having you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining our community.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.